Today's episode is sponsored by the 2023 Rhode Island Business Summit, presented by Stella Business Concepts on September 21st at the Event Factory in Warwick, Rhode Island. Join us to connect with B2B vendors, amazing networking opportunities, and guest speakers like Patricia Raskin, who will talk to you about podcasting for your business, leadership with Mary Sullivan, or customer retention with me, Erica Sicoscio, and more. We have panelists, and we also have a very fun, amazing lunch and learn with Rhode Island comic Poppy Champlin. Tickets are on sale now. Visit our website at www.stellabusinessconcepts.com. See you there. Hey guys, Erica Sicoscio here with Practical Biz Podcast. And today our topic is 5 major marketing challenges that could be killing your small business. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of stats before we dive in. 72% of companies use social media to create informed business decisions. 85% agree that social data is the primary source for business intelligence. 83% of consumers use Instagram to find new products or services. And 1 out of 2 visitors, like 53%, if the website that they go to doesn't load within 3 seconds, leave and find another website. So those are things that are really important that I think you need to consider as a small business owner. And today we have a marketing expert with us. We are joined by Sal Suko from, I'm going to say this right, hopefully, England Studios. They are located in North Kingston, Rhode Island. And today we're going to talk about some of those major challenges. So thank you and welcome to our show.
Thank you, Erica. Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about your marketing background.
I've been helping companies market since probably the early 2000s. At one time, I ran a computer software company, and we, as part of what we did a lot of marketing with my customers. And then I moved to a displays and manufacturing company, and we did a ton of marketing for those customers. And then in 2015, I partnered with Dave England, who had also been doing marketing since 2002, and we officially created the England Studio brand and have been marketing to Rhode Island and actually national companies. I've got companies in Florida and San Francisco since then. So,
what's your favorite thing about marketing?
It's fun to try to figure out ways to make a business stand out in a busy field. Yeah. So, we have sessions, we call them throwing spaghetti on the wall, where we just have ideas, no idea is a bad idea. And then usually something comes out of that that really works for the customer.
Yeah. The creativity part. I think
that's
the part that I love.
Yeah, that's
super fun.
It is the super fun part. Yeah.
And I love peeling back the layers and really understanding the people behind the brand or behind the business and using that to really also help kind of spread their message. So the number one thing that we'll start with, we've got 5 major ones. We'll start the first thing with lack of leads. So what does that look like? What does that sound like? And how would you help folks around when they have a lack of leads or coming in?
Lack of leads is really a function of all the other marketing deficiencies that a company might have. Lack of leads is the reason that you contact a marketing expert. You're just not reaching your customers. Mm-hmm. And lack of leads is really, it's a sales function. Sales is worried about leads. Marketing is how to get out in front of people. And I think that the main, if a company is feeling like they have a lack of leads, then they're probably not marketing properly.
Right. So, and that probably happens a lot when people make their own website and they don't understand SEO and some of those that draw people to that website.
Right.
You can have a website, but if you don't have other things driving the traffic there.
Yeah, I mean, we see it on a large scale where companies will say, "Well, I don't need a website," mm-hmm. or I had my cousin do that website for me, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. Websites are have replaced the business card. You need a website, just like you used to need a business card. Most business cards really right now are shortcuts to the website. Here's where to go and find some real information. I remember back in the 80s, we would try to fit all this information on the business card. You know, like it was, you know, it got to have this. It's got to have this saying. It's got to have these. You know, today it's basically put the website on, and now you have the opportunity for pages and pages of information.
Yeah.
But the website has to be built so that if you're a person who is a visual person, it's got visual cues on it. If you're a person who likes to read information, it has the opportunity to get you there without, without clouding the message with a lot of text. Yeah. So there's a lot to it. And, you know, the websites that are built by, your cousin or your niece, they're not going to use color psychology. They're not going to use messaging, protocols. They're just information.
Yeah.
And you don't have very long when the person, basically it's 7 seconds. You've got 7 seconds to grab them.
Yeah.
When they go to the website. And then a lot of the website is subliminal. So, people go to a website and they don't even realize that the colors, the pictures, the imagery,
some types of feelings,
just hits them in a certain way. And you want that to be a positive way. You want that message to come out in how you structure that website. Yeah. And I mean, I've seen websites that accidentally hit it out of the park on the first run with, somebody who did a free website for them, but not very often.
Yeah. And I think too, a lot of your marketing pieces, when you think about it, are usually driving people to your website because, well, one, you have more of their attention there. There's not 1,000 things coming across your screen like social. And the other thing is 95% of the time, the business is actually happening on the website. Either they're booking you, they're making that meeting, or they're making the purchase usually on your website.
That's right.
On other pieces of your marketing.
That's right. The proper website should almost be a funnel to bring you into the purchase.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So what about poor visibility?
Again, poor visibility. You might have a great website, but your SEO is no good, so people can't find that website when they look up the keywords, for what you do. If you're selling cups, you want to be able to have somebody type cups in Warwick and
you
come up as part of that. Or their social media is not bringing people back to the website, or they don't have social media that brings people back, or it doesn't have to be social media. I mean, it could be a billboard. Mm-hmm. It could be signs on a soccer field.
Yep.
Okay. But you need to be able to bring people to somewhere. If it's not a website, then it's a person. It's a person at a counter. It's a location. You need to be able to bring people to that place so that they can decide to make a purchase.
Yeah. And two, I think another way to not just SEO is great, but there are other ways too to market yourself, like going to groups. Facebook groups work really fantastic for specific niches, right? And then you could share your information on there. Also networking groups, the Chamber of Commerce, blogs too. I feel like writing blogs that have information that would be of interest to your target market.
The great thing about blogs is they throw a lot of keywords on your site that Google likes to see, so that they bring people to your site when they type in those keywords. Also
shows you as an expert in that particular industry when you start writing about the real specifics of that industry. And then also using video. So one of the interesting statistics I got off your website was, so video increases the likelihood of someone doing business with you by 76%.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty high amount. So, if you're not using video, that would certainly be something
you're missing out on reaching those people that that are visually oriented, and we've all become video oriented.
Yeah.
Over the last decades, that television, et cetera, has been part of our lives. So.
Yeah. Even if you, as a consumer, think about yourself as a consumer. What are the ways that you normally find places? Like, you're going on to reviews, you're reading reviews, you're checking out people's websites. So if you put your feet in the shoes of your customer and you think about, well, I'm a consumer, I buy things. How do you do that? Where do I find them? So if you look at that, that usually will help guide you on the different ways that you can reach out to your customer. What about lack of time? Because I find, especially small business owners, and I'm one of them, are so entrenched in the day-to-day or running their operations or focused on growth. What is your advice for folks that don't have a lot of time to invest in marketing?
In reality, Erica, a lot of what we do is work for companies that don't have the time or expertise to do that. Okay. It's a common problem. I can't get to, every business says, okay, I'm going to have Gladys do this monthly posting. And then 6 months go by and it's like, Gladys, how'd you make out? Well, you had me doing this, you had me doing that. I can't get to it. And 6 months of lost opportunities online. And
I love what you said too, posting, because that is not the same as marketing, right? Especially if Gladys doesn't have a lot of experience in marketing.
Right.
You said how to brand. Is she using logos? Does it invoke feeling? All of those pieces.
It's the time and the expertise. So it's a common human thing that if you don't know how to do something, you're going to put it off more frequently. Sure. You're going to do all the stuff that you know how to do before you ever get to that, because you're trying to figure out how to get it done. And marketing should not be hard, but there is a certain amount of
like anything else,
expertise you have to have. It's a skill.
I think too, for those who don't have the advantage of having a lot of money right now, some of the tips that I would say, and certainly jump in at any point, would be, set aside a time, block time, just like you do anything else, and like pre-post things so that you get that consistency. And many of the platforms allow you to schedule out your stuff for, a week at a time. Yep. That would be one tip that I would say for the small business people that aren't in the position right now to, hire somebody. Also, automation. There are some things that you can automate through your website, responses, things like that, that will help move people through that sales process. So if you're not automated, that would be something that I would recommend as well. And then again, if you do have somebody in your office that you are delegating to do the social for you, make sure they have the skills and tools. Go to some workshops, go to some seminars. Right. We'll talk about one at the end of this episode that you guys are presenting. We also have one coming up in September as well. But maybe send your staff to those types of things so they can get you some results. Because at the end of the day,
don't assume because they're young that they know how to operate the internet.
No, and the other thing too is some people are better at certain platforms than others, right? You might have someone who's a real dynamo on Instagram, but really doesn't use Facebook and doesn't understand the way that Facebook works. It's a different market, right? So I think there's so many factors to think about, but I would say like any other person in your business, no matter what their roles or responsibilities, you would get them training and you would make sure they have the adequate tools to do their job. Right. So I would say for lack of time, that would be some tips that I would share. So what about like not knowing where to market, who to market? Let's talk about that. Where do people even start?
We always start with the 3 M's. So when we onboard a new client, we say, okay, for who are you marketing to? Well, everybody wants to market to everybody, but that's not really how a business works. You paint a picture of who your typical customer is. Okay, that's your market. The next M would be message. So now that we have a picture, okay, you're marketing to 55-year-old business owners. They like to golf, they like football, whatever. What's the message you're trying to send them? That message could be, our stuff is great because it saves you time, or talk to one of our people because we can make you money, or buy this thing because you'll be cool. Okay. What is the message? What are you trying to say? Is our stuff better than the others because of the quality? Is it better than our competition because it's cheaper? Is it better than our competition because it works better? What's the message?
Sure.
So now we know who we're talking to, what we're trying to say to them, and then we get the third M, which is media, and that is now that you know where that person is, we know how to get that message out. If it's 60-year-old business owners, maybe Facebook ain't the best place to go. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe LinkedIn is a good place to go for those guys.
Yeah.
okay, and gals. But it's, if it's soccer moms, well, then signs on a soccer field are going to be the way to get at them, okay, or libraries, okay, or places where they're bringing their kids. So you have to look at that, and then I believe there's a fourth M, which is money, because when we come up with who we're targeting, what we want to say to them, where we're going to put it, we can then design the Taj Mahal.
Correct.
Right? Billboards and everything. And really what you have to do is work within the marketing budget for the company. So the fourth M is money. What do you have to apply to this marketing issue? And then let's work a program that works around your budget.
You had said something earlier that I really wanted to touch on, and I'm sorry, it's gone. So you said so many great things there. So lack of budget is one. So if somebody doesn't have a large budget, what advice do you have for them?
It's better to be in the game than not in the game at all. So do what you can. We try to have a number of plans that we think are very affordable, we just, again, what do you have to spend? Let's see what we can do to help you out.
Okay. So that brings me back to when you were talking about message and where, who your customer is. So one of the things that I find is I feel like, especially if you already have a business, if you're not setting out, but you've had a business for a year or more, you really need to pull your numbers, because it's not always who you think your market is. So as a business coach, I find that a lot when I talk to people. I'm like, well, who's your market? Well, it's affluent people who live in EG. And then when we looked at actually where her customers were, they really were coming from Wakefield.
Right.
I'm like, 90% of your customers are from Wakefield, right? So I think, looking at that data, when you have that data, use it as much as you can and bring that to your marketing experts to say, like, this is what I know so far. Who's buying off me, how much they're spending. You can get a lot of information if you're using good systems.
We did a study with a paving company, and they thought they knew who their market was. And what we found out was that they were selling, really the person who was the purchaser was a person who managed the facilities. They were facilities managers. And those facilities managers were both guys and gals, and they were huge. Their thing was football and beer. Those were the things that those people were interested in.
Sure.
Okay. So, they pivoted their marketing strategy a little bit to include, the Patriots and pubs and things like that. So breweries. So that they were able to increase the effectiveness of their marketing by putting the messages where their customers were. But they would never have thought, they would have never really been that focused hadn't we done the study.
So I think that's something that we do pretty frequently with the folks that we work with. And there's another case study of these ladies who sell toys. They sell like these kits, they're teachers. And I said, have you sent out any marketing to any of the local childcare centers? And they're like, nope, we didn't think of that. I'm like, well, I don't know any place that has a more concentration of moms and children than childcare or schools. Sure. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like, we didn't even think of that.
Right.
I think, going back and again, really clearly identifying who your market is.
Right.
Where do they hang out? What are they interested in? And then you speak to that.
Right.
So do you have any favorite books, marketing books that you recommend?
No, I don't, because really what I'm doing to keep up is I'm just reading everything that goes out on the internet. Because
it's constantly changing.
Yeah. So to be able to sit down with a marketing book is it's too much information, too long. By the time the book gets out, it's old. I'm looking at the stuff that's coming out this week.
Sure.
So I have a number of publications that I've subscribed to online that give me the latest marketing news, what's changing, that type of thing.
Okay. What do you think about the new chat, artificial intelligence? What do you think about that?
It's funny. The chat, GPT, everybody's losing their minds. This is going to change everything. Well, a lot of that has been in use
For a while.
Making decisions based on past performance. I have a lot of friends who are artists who, again, are losing their minds. This is going to kill creativity. It's not because, in my opinion, it's not because it takes an average of what's on the internet. That's what you're looking for. So creativity, whether you're writing a song or painting a picture, is about pushing the envelope, going out on the edges. These chat GPT and these bots, they're basically aggregating what's in the middle. So they can come up with something that kind of matches everything else.
Sure.
That's their purpose.
Right.
Scour the internet, find the averages, pull that stuff in, create something that looks like everything else.
Sure.
And I read an article a few weeks back on the mediocritization of our culture as a whole. For instance, I remember in the 70s, cars looked different from each other. You could tell from far away if it was a Ford or a Chevy coming.
You can tell by the sound.
Well, yeah, forget that. But yeah, we won't go through your favorite car brands. Yeah. But I mean, now you really can't. The cars all are designed to look the same, and that's just one instance. Yeah. And the internet is things like Chat GPT they're promoting that mediocritization of everything. So I think there's always going to be room for things that are outside that average, and that's where the creativity and the advances will come. They won't be coming from Chat GPT. Yeah, you can use it to write a song, but it's going to sound like every other song.
Sure. So my advice to small business owners, maybe before they even how do they know before they even hire a marketing company? How do they even know what's good, what isn't, if they're not really sure? So I do like to read. I understand it may not be the most current, but so two favorite books that I have that I like to share with people this is my favorite, Jab Jab, a Right Hook by Gary Vee. If you don't understand the different platforms, he does a great job at explaining each of the platforms. What do they look like? Who's on them? And he also shows you some pictures of great content and then also rips apart some not great content, so that when you're looking at either what you've created yourself or what someone else has created for you, it at least gives you some basic skill set to ask more questions and make sure that it really is what you want your brand to be saying. And then my other favorite one is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I think is also a great one, especially if you are trying to build a brand. Not everybody's trying to build a brand, but some folks are trying to really build a brand that name is recognizable no matter where you are. So I think those are two really great books. So we talked about getting your staff or yourself the skills needed to market for yourself or work with some folks that are experts. So talk to us about the marketing camp that is coming up.
The marketing camp is a 1.5 day long seminar on marketing topics that range from social media and branding and video and photography and public relations, physical marketing. We've got some of the areas leading experts in these topics. Yep. We pull them together and we tell them that their job is to give away secrets. We want businesses to come and learn actionable things that they can take back and do to improve their business tomorrow. Mm-hmm. This will be our third year. It has gone fabulously the previous 2 years.
How many people typically go to
about 30?
Okay.
It's held in a camp environment. We're not.
You're turning Nilo to the camp.
What's that?
You're turning Nilo to the camp.
Here we are. Yeah.
Okay.
We're camp counselors.
Okay.
And it's a little like going to a day camp.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun, and it's a great way to learn how to market your business.
Yep.
We have, I personally believe that feedback is a gift. You take negative feedback and then you modify in order to perfect.
Could not agree more.
I have begged for negative feedback on this. There is we cannot get one bit of negative feedback. Everybody who comes just says, "Don't change a thing. This is perfect. I'm coming next year." That type of thing. So, it's May 19th. That's a Friday. We're going to start at 8:00 in the morning. We'll have seminars from experts all day long until dinner time. And then we'll have dinner, and then we're going to have an open networking. So even if you're not attending the marketing camp, but you like to go to networking events, come to the Nilo at 6:00 on the 19th, and we'll actually have some live music there, and we'll do that networking for a while, and then we'll retire to the campfire because we're at the Nilo on the deck. Yep. So, but we'll retire to the campfire, and then wake up the next day and do some workshops, and you're out of there by lunch on Saturday. So it's a great event that I'm really proud to be part of the crew that does it. We do a lot of formation events to get everybody on the same page. I keep everything on track. There's nothing going wrong. We give out a WGM award every year. We get marketing award to a business that does a good job using marketing channels. This year it's going to Deb Burton of RI Elder Info. They do a great job marketing themselves. So we'll give that award. It'll be a brief ceremony during the day. There are prizes. There are activities, interactive. It's just a phenomenal event. So
I looked at some of the for the folks out there. So some of the things, the topics or specialists they have is relationship marketing, Google marketing, social media marketing, video marketing, storytelling and PR, and sales. And sales is done by our friend Alan.
Yes,
yeah.
Alan.
So he was actually on our show.
He's an area. Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
So he's a leading expert on sales in the area, and he works with companies all over the country. So
yeah, great. So we'll share we'll share the website for National Night. We'll share it on our video. I'll give folks your information on how to get a hold of you. But before you do that, let me say this. If you love our content, please like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. If there's someone that you would love to see on our show, we'd be happy to do that. Or if there's a topic that you find is interesting to you that we haven't covered, I'm going to give you an opportunity to give people your contact info.
Yes, you can reach me via email. It's Sal, S-A-L, at englandstudio.com. That's ENGLUND studio.com. And I just want to say that the marketing camp usually sells out. So if don't hesitate to, if that's an interesting thing for you, get in there. It's only $197 for everything that I talked about, which is.
And you'll see me because I'm going too.
That's great.
Yeah, super excited to go.
Yeah.
And then you also have an opportunity for people to sponsor that, B2B folks.
Yes, we do. We've got 10 sponsors right now. And the sponsors work into the program, and they can actually send somebody to attend the program.
Yeah.
That again, just contact me at that email, sal@englandstudio.com, and I'll give you the details on becoming a sponsor for the marketing camp and getting in front of 50 or so business owners.
Yeah. All right. It sounds great. Well, thank you so much for.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is
fun. So again, thank you for tuning in to Practical Biz Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button and help us make our channel be Rhode Island's fastest growing business podcast in Rhode Island. See you later. Bye. Are you a business owner? Are ready to get your startup? Well, start it. Have a burning question you would like us to answer? Want to know more about the services we offer? Or register for upcoming workshops and events? Looking to book a guest speaker? Or like to be a guest on the Practical Biz Podcast? Visit our website at stellabusinessconcepts.com.